You're listening to Season 2, Episode 2 of Business Unplugged. How to steal £30,000 from your competition.
I think there's a problem with cybersecurity because, in a way, it's kind of dull because until it happens to you, you just don't think that it's going to.
Do you think it has an image problem then?
No, I think the problem is this. I'm going to read some stats, okay?
Look at those stats.
The average cost of a malware attack on a company is 2.4 million. Well, that's not relevant to us because you literally...
2.4 million?
That's what the internet's saying. So, I mean, doesn't affect us because we don't have 2.4 million. The Equifax breach cost the company over 4 billion in total. Well, that's not relevant to me because I'm nowhere near got billion. And 2016, 3 billion Yahoo accounts were hacked. Well, why would they come and hack us? We don't have billions of accounts or data like that. Do you know what I mean? The stats that make the news...
Could they take our videos?
They can, but they can never take our freedom, Dave. But I think that's why small businesses don't really listen because actually all the media isn't for us. No one's going, John got hacked into and lost 10 grand this weekend because it just doesn't make any, it doesn't sell papers.
It's not scary enough. And when you think that, small businesses just don't get hacked or there's no high profile stories about it, you think it doesn't happen.
That's right.
And so that's why we decided to get Francis from Westtek on to talk about the kind of businesses that he works with. And he works with small businesses who do get hacked all the time, just to expose how much this happens.
Yeah, and it seems like it happens a lot.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You don't hear about it because who wants to talk about it?
We just did, so we're helping a little bit.
We're helping a little bit, but no one really wants to put their hand up and go, we've been hacked. It's embarrassing as a business.
Now it's a GDPR issue, and when people realise that they haven't done the right stuff, and they're going to get their spanked bottom. So Francis, helping out with Lloyd's, Barclays, security. He's been on Sky TV talking about it. He's been with the police.
Just now, actually.
For issues completely not related to this. He's been helping the police, talking to them about cybersecurity. And another fact of him that is just a nice little fact. That has nothing to do with IT security. He walked around the M25 once. It took him 6 days. Him and a group of them.
Did his car get hacked?
Yeah, that's actually quicker than trying to drive it, though. So let's get him on. What I'd like to hear about first is these stats out there. They really just seem like for big business problems, and I know you work with smaller businesses. Yeah. Could you just give us some stats that might actually be relevant to smaller businesses to make us realise that actually this can happen to us as well? It's not just about Yahoo.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, because I think a lot of small businesses, because they see all the big fines, they think, it's not going to happen to me. But I'll share some smaller stats with you.
Look at those stats.
Probably the first one, which I heard only last week from Hoskins Insurance Company, they said that a business is 9 times more likely to be affected or be attacked by cyber criminals than suffering a theft in their office. So my advice would be cancel your content insurance and rather go and get cyber insurance.
Another stat that was interesting you said earlier to us before we came on live was that 91% of hacks come in by email.
Yeah.
So that's basically the only way to get hacked, isn't it? I don't know, what would the other 9% be?
Yeah.
Someone walking in the office and doing it physically?
Possibly, yeah. That's a good point. I mean, if you think about email, it's the only door in a business or home that you can't close. Because you want to receive emails, don't you?
Yeah.
A lot of people with Office 365 or they're with Google email and they think they're protected. You're not. Microsoft and Google do not check every link when it comes into your inbox. So you need an external piece of software or company that can clean all your emails because the user sits there on a Monday morning. They had a really good weekend, bit of a hangover, and that email comes in, they click on that email, and it just takes one click, and it's game over.
If only these criminals today would handily send emails that had pictures of criminals with masks and swag bags. It's so hard. It's like they're trying to game the system.
An email sig with their face on it. Yeah. Swag.
That's true.
It'd be a lot easier.
In China, they've got rugby fields full of people sitting there. That is their only job. They come in at 9, they leave at 5:30. They have 2 kids and they go get married and so on and so on. But that's just their job. So it's normal people wearing suits like us. and it's their job to hack us from morning till night. If you look at the average loss to a small business, it's between 20 to 50,000 pounds minimum per attack.
So if you can afford to lose that, don't worry about it.
Yeah, crack on.
Otherwise,
You know,
probably
that's
do
it.
something. So what we'll do now, Francis, we're going to move on to a game.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of different versions of being hacked. There's lots of different names for it and different things, and the average person doesn't have a clue what they mean. So what we're going to do is we're going to quick fire around you,
Okay.
and in a sentence, I'd like you to just try and sum up what each of these things are. Okay?
You know, I could talk for hours about this. One sentence is going to be
Well, you've
tough
got a
for me.
sentence
I'll try.
for each
I'll
one.
try.
Couldn't think of no name, so we gave it no name. Couldn't think of no name. This is the quiz with no name. This is the quiz with no name. Shibidi-bee-wow.
Malware.
Malware, my favorite. So malware, imagine you're on this lovely fluffy cat website, you click on something, unknown to you, that's more than a sentence. It downloads some really bad software on your machine, and from that moment forwards, every single keystroke that you're typing, all the information goes back to China or Russia or wherever.
Okay, phishing.
Phishing is where a hacker would send you something with the view of catching something. So they'll give you the bait, and then you'll click on something again, and from that moment forward, they're phishing your data.
And have you heard about the new version, phishing and chips?
Phishing and chips.
Yeah, have you not aware of that one, Francis?
No,
Oh,
I'm
you might
not.
want to do your research.
No.
Okay, next one, virus.
Virus are those. Oh, those are the good old days.
Yeah.
I remember those. Yeah, no, virus is, it's just, you know, in the good old days, you put in a floppy drive or USB pen, and a little virus would just make your machine go a bit slower. Happy days.
Okay, next one, Francis. Denial of service.
Denial of service, my favorite one. So this is where I can send you thousands of packets either to a computer or to a firewall, and it just basically brings the system or the machine to a standstill, or whole company.
Like Game of Thrones, when Hodor was trying to hold back the
exactly
undead
like
army.
that.
That's
It's
that's my
exactly,
favourite
yeah.
one too.
Am I the only person here that's never watched Game
Yes,
of Thrones?
you are.
Yeah, you are.
Okay,
You are.
last one. Fake WAP. Never heard of that.
Fake web. Oh, okay. So, have you ever heard of a pineapple?
No.
So, just for the readers, what fake WAP stands for is fake wireless access point.
Okay.
So, a pineapple is it looks like a little hotspot device. It's got, a black thing. I've got one. I'll send you a picture. Two little bunny aerials that you put into the side of your laptop, Mac or PC, doesn't matter. And let's say you're sitting at a hotel, where loads of other people come in and go. And normally when you go to a hotel, there's this lovely landing page, isn't there, where you can log onto the Wi-Fi. So what I can do with a pineapple, 168 quid on Amazon, but they've now taken it down. Don't know why. Anyway, so you can then duplicate the landing page of this hotel, and then copy it onto the little pineapple and just put -free. So you put a second one. You won't believe how many people click on the free one. And once they click on the free one, it redirects them to the real one. And from that second forward, I copy every single keystroke that they've typed. So my advice here is, please never ever log on to these free hotspots. Rather use your phone and connect to your phone and tether it, because that's the only way you're going to keep yourself secure. I wouldn't do it, because somebody like me will sit there with a pineapple and capture all your data.
But just in case anyone's confused, you're not doing it to actually rip them off. You're doing it to prove a point.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. No, listen,
But there's some cash on the side, right?
No, sadly not. No, I wish. It's a good business to get in, I promise you. But now I'm known as what they call a white hat hacker.
Right.
So I do it purely for demonstration purposes, because my mission is to educate people.
Yeah.
The more awareness we can create, this is why we work so closely with the police and Barclays and Lloyds, is because the more awareness we can create, the less people are going to fall foul and lose a lot of money and livelihoods and businesses.
That brings us to the end of our quiz. That was really good. I think my favourite is actually the fake WAP.
Yeah.
Dave, a particular favourite from that list?
Just fishing, because it always surprised me how much he knows, and didn't know there was a fish and chips.
Fish and chips.
Virus.
You
Amazing.
always shout for that one. It's
Yeah.
coming new.
Yeah.
If there's one story of an
Yeah.
example that that's really hurt a business, which one, is there one that comes to mind of a smaller business that you think that was a really bad one?
Yeah, there's a small company that I know of that's a client of ours. And I've known him for many, many, many years, probably about 15 years. And what happened was, on a Saturday morning, somehow somebody phoned the owner, and the owner allowed them, I can't make this stuff up, They allowed this person to log on to his PC, open up his NatWest account, and did 7 times £35,000 transactions in front of his eyes, but he couldn't stop it. They locked the screen. So then he phoned me. I can still remember where I was walking in my garden. And he said, what do I... Anyway, at that point, he already shut it down. But he gave people access into his machine.
Via email or actually on the phone?
No, they phoned him. But here's
pretended
the
to be
interesting
NatWest.
thing, okay? Yeah. And they said, there was a problem. We need to transfer some money out of this account to another account. So let me help you. And he fell for it. Now, what's interesting about this case is that... so he lost 175 grand, okay? Now, what's interesting about this case is the fact that he was, if I may say this, he was going through a divorce. And Manchester, I believe, Manchester University is currently doing a study on when people are most vulnerable. So Saturday morning, going through a divorce, he's in a really very busy, it's a shop, there's people in and out. So, and this is the thing, that's why training is so important.
If you're in a suggestible state, which he was.
If you, and that's why I say Monday morning, somebody comes in, they're a bit of a hangover, and they click on that link. Or they're just not aware. And most of the time, it's business owners. It's the business owners because they just think, off they go. My prediction is that in the next 10 years, we're going to see more technology changes than we've seen in the last 1,000 years, okay? Mark my words. But the problem with that, of course, from a security point of view, it's going to go up exponentially in the wrong way for us.
Are the hackers always ahead? Are they the nerds? Are they the biggest nerds going? Basically, the police have got ex-hackers who are trying to basically not go to jail, so they're helping the police. Or is that just films?
Let's be honest. We have lost the war. 68% of small businesses in the UK have already been compromised. Right. But for me, the biggest concern is that it takes on average 237 days before they know that they've been compromised.
237?
37 days. Do the numbers in months, okay?
Yeah, that's a long time.
So that's sad because by that point, so much of your data has already left the building.
Yeah.
And they've been watching you for months.
If it was possible to turn off the internet and restart it, like classic IT advice, right? The big lever.
Yeah.
I want you to turn off your entire internet globally, sir, and restart your computer. Is there a way that the internet ever could have been built to be better in the first place? Was it possible to get the kind of advance we got without these security risks, or it was always going to happen?
It's always going to happen because people are lazy, they're gullible, and therefore the hackers know it, and that's why it's big business.
And that's just their best traits.
Yeah. So it is. We are creating again. That's why I'm here today to again create awareness, because unfortunately most people are not taking this seriously, and therefore they are going to lose more and more money and get more fines.
I think the reason that it's not taken seriously is simply because they just can't understand the risks. As soon as you start getting into it,
you don't fear it until it's happened, do you? I'm not walking around the street all the time thinking I'm going to get mugged. But the moment I've been mugged, I'm going to be very aware for it the rest of my life. Yeah. I think it's just that.
I mean, as a business owner, we're just trying to get by every month. Do you see what I mean? And so there's it's just another layer.
Thing. It's just another thing to annoy us and get in our way. But
it is important.
Late,
and it's just until it's too late, and it's a big problem. It's hard to get my head around which issue within it is the first one to tackle. But we're going to come to that later. But I think that's the mindset.
There are three kinds of people on this planet.
Yeah.
Those have been hacked.
Yeah.
Those that haven't been hacked, and those have been hacked and don't know they've been hacked. See, I'm not kidding.
The thing that I found interesting is this, Francis. How many small businesses recover from a serious security breach that you know of?
Not many. Especially now since GDPR came about, because a lot of them also are taking the chance of not reporting it to the ICO, the Information Commission Officer, because they're too scared. But the problem is if they don't report it, again, the NCSC, it's a brilliant, the government has done so much work in the last 2 years, and they tell you step by step on the website, and again, we can maybe list it for everybody listening, how to report a crime, when they should report it to the ICO. But sadly, a lot of them don't recover, because imagine you turning over, I don't know, let's say £1 million. You get 4% fine. I don't see a lot of £1 million turnover companies that's got 40 grand lying around. It's going to hurt a lot. And the thing is, the insurance companies will not pay your fine, because why should they? If you're not taking care of your data and you then getting fined, it's gonna hurt your business. But not only that, I meet people where, the bookkeeper or the accounts person paid an invoice for 5,000, 10,000, 437,000 pounds. That money is gone forever. And the banks, I agree, they shouldn't pay the money back. Why? Because you're the one who pressed that button to say pay now. So why should the bank suffer? My mum always said, dumb people must suffer. But unfortunately, she didn't think about cybersecurity at the time.
It was a bit, she's got a good point. I mean, that's natural selection, isn't it?
As small company owners like us, you don't have the same money or the budget to invest in putting so many different systems into security or so much training. So you just do what you can. The hackers go after the small companies because they know the small companies are such easy targets.
So what if there is just one bit of kit? So some action for someone to take. There's probably a lot of different things we should be doing. But if there was one thing they could instantly improve the security of their business, what do you think it would be?
Great question. The first thing when we take on a new client is we look at remember email? Email, 91% of attacks come in by email. So many people I meet that still do not have what we call multi-factor authentication. Some people call it two-factor authentication turned on. And it's something you can do for free. But what that does is once you've turned it on, when you log on from let's say your Outlook, anywhere in the world, in a different country or even on a different device, let's say you go to your mom's house, you log on, it'll then prompt you for three things. First is your email address. Second is your password. And third is this code, the the multi-factor authentication code. And this code only lasts for 30 seconds. So unless somebody's standing next to my head with a gun against my head, there's no way I'm going to give them the code because that code is only on my phone.
Yeah.
So my advice is, turn that on your email, on your LinkedIn, on your Twitter, on your Facebook, on every single account that you have, because that's the only way that you're going to make sure that nobody else is right now logging onto that same account.
Why do we need to protect LinkedIn that much? What's on there that's valuable?
Well, again, if you go into LinkedIn, imagine somebody can log onto your LinkedIn account.
Yeah.
Very simple. They can just start communicating with all your contacts.
Oh yeah, of course.
And you're going to look terrible. You're going to lose credibility that you've taken years to build up. You can lose it in one afternoon.
Saying that, some of the stuff I post, I'm actually gained some.
Yeah.
Is that actually happening? I mean, I've heard of people say...
No, you could get in, couldn't you? You could easily manufacture work
So
out.
industrial espionage we're talking here. This is totally different.
Maybe,
or ransom. I mean, I'm just thinking of the scenarios.
No, this is just normal logging on, logging onto your account and do, whether it's your LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, you can see a lot of celebrities are suffering this all the time.
I'm starting to think someone's hacked my Tinder. Has gone in and tarnished my good name.
Yeah, well this is
No,
it.
that's all you.
Yeah. What is the biggest threat coming? Is there something coming out there that we should all be fearing?
Are you sitting on a different planet to me? It's not coming. It's been here for years. It's just getting stronger and stronger and better. I mean, they're getting so good. You've got to admire them, some of the hackers.
Why are they getting so much better than the protection, though? That's what I don't understand.
Well, I was going to say people getting more stupider, but that's not possible. So
it is. Have you seen Love Island?
Yeah, true. No, good point. They have the time.
Yeah.
And they can look at your account for months and months and months before they decide to execute the attack. We call it man-in-the-middle attack, where they're constantly looking at your email because if you don't have multi-factor authentication turned on, they can be inside your email watching you for a long time and then execute the attack.
I guess there's also more people out there who can become hackers, because to become a physical criminal, there's always the threat that you're going to get hit or actually experience a physical pain, whereas hacking,
No, listen, if you think about YouTube, second largest search engine on the planet, is your friend. If you want to know how to hack, you just go on YouTube, how do I hack, blah, blah, blah. And I promise you, it'll tell you step by step how to do it.
Well, talking of that, segues us on nicely to, you're going to show us how to hack now, aren't you? Or try and steal £30,000 from us.
It is literally, I'll send you an email.
Yeah.
You'll click on a link.
Yeah.
I've now downloaded some malware
So hang
on your machine.
When you say what's the link? Talk us through this email that comes in, right? So I'm let's say just my regular email. I get an email from who?
It's just normal email that that just day to day. The Starbucks is the local coffee shop opening up here. Click here to get your free coffee.
Okay.
Or somebody sends you a friend request or a LinkedIn request. Email comes in. You click on it. Unknown to you. Malware executes. It sits on your machine. And now the next morning you log on to your Xero, or to your QuickBooks or whatever, and now the hackers have your login details.
Actually tracking the keystrokes, isn't it?
Every keystroke is tracked, okay, and it's sent straight out without you knowing. So
Is that a bit if software costs a lot of money?
No, it's free. You can
It's free?
download it from free. Yeah, if you go on the dark web or even again,
Yeah.
you know, so YouTube is your friend.
Yeah.
Go on there and they'll tell you where to go. And you download the stuff, you know. So we have, I don't want to digress, but we've got some piece of software that we do when we do security audits. Let's say there's a car park with 100 cars. We can just print USB sticks.
Yeah.
And we drop, say, 20 or 30 among the cars. You will not believe how many people pick up the USB stick, and what's the first thing they do? They stick it into their computer at work or at home.
They're thinking,
and the
what's on
moment
this?
they do that, we can execute software. So we do that purely for demonstration purposes. But that software reports back to us in the office, and we know the IP address, everything about that machine. If we were bad people, we could have executed ransomware to now look at your Xero account details.
So when they're in Xero,
Mm-hmm.
so if we're going to try and steal £30,000 from
Yeah.
our competition, I'm in the competition Xero
Yeah.
access. Well, I'm looking at their clients and sending them an invoice with different bank account
Yeah,
details.
that's simple. So we had a case recently where this company, all the hackers did, they watched the flow of data. They were in there for quite some time, I think about 3 months.
Yeah.
And they could see that they send out statements on every Friday afternoon. And they saw it was quite close to the month, and they can see which the activity or where most of the activity happens in Xero. So they decided the third week of the month was the best week. And they just went in the night before and changed the bank details. So what happened then was the customer sends out all the statements out.
Yeah.
And of course, people started paying the new
So do
bank
they-
detail statements.
But how do they? So I'm looking things at some of our suppliers. So they have you set up as a supplier.
Yeah.
So are they emailing them and going, "We've changed our bank details"? How's that?
We've done it. We've done it. So if you look in Xero, you know, when you send your statement, there's a comment box. You can either put it at the top or the bottom, and you just say, "We've done it." When we moved from Lloyd's, when we moved from Lloyd's to Barclays, we just said, "Please, can you note our?" And most of our clients picked up the phone and said, "Are you sure that is that a legitimate request?" I said, "Yes, it is, and thank you so much for phoning." So that's my big thing, you know. Never
You've
ever
trained them
action.
well.
Yeah, I have. You know, I always say, please never make a bank change based on an email. It has to be a phone call or even a fax if we go back.
Actually be in your Xero sending it out to you.
Exactly. But again, why did the hackers get in? The hackers got in because there was no multi-factor authentication lockdown on the Xero account.
This is the part of the show, Francis, where we'll let you plug yourself.
Yeah.
But because it's us, you can't just plug yourself normally. You've got to break it down and describe what it is your company does as if to a kid, like an 8-year-old or a 10-year-old or a 5-year-old, to make it simple, because let's face it, as you said earlier, the internet's not that smart.
Can you pitch to a 5-year-old, maybe even a 10-year-old, perhaps even a 13-year-old? We're not sure yet. Can you pitch to a 5-year-old, or maybe a 10-year-old, even maybe a 13-year-old? We make this up on the spot.
So imagine us, we like the bouncers for data security worldwide. That's what we do. So also, I mean, a big thing for us is about education. It's about constantly educating, you know, people out there, not only our clients, but also, you know, through our website, through our security tips that we do on a regular basis. It's just the more awareness we can create, hopefully the better this planet will be.
Okay, excellent.
Thought I was full on what to worry about, but now there's more.
Thanks for coming on, Francis.
You're
I'm
welcome.
hoping that we can help you change the world one by one.
Good.
Well, thank you for getting all of this way. Like young Jenny once said, it's almost time to go away. But before you flee, try listening to me, because it's competition time.
Okay, so the competition from last time, it was we did a YouTube advert, YouTube podcast special. A couple of people entered. So I'd like to say congratulations, Fiona from Rainclear. Yeah, we're going to go on your YouTube, and I'm going to help you optimize it and make all your wildest YouTube dreams come true. So just goes to show that it's worth entering these things. We've got a stack of books that we need to give away because no one's ever bothered really entering from them apart from the first time, which we gave away instead of giving it away.
It's like they just come to listen to us, but don't want to enter the competitions.
It's one of those things, isn't it? Oh, there's no point wasting my time. I'm never going to win that. I guarantee if in any of our competitions, you will probably win it. There's either going to be a 100% chance or a 50% chance. I might start testing the waters and be like, I'm going to give away a Rolex next week. A genuine competition, just see if anyone wants it.
Yeah, if they ever get that far in the podcast, they're like,
I still
yeah,
think
just a
people would
winner.
go, nah, Forget it. It's
Yeah.
just a Rolex.
Yeah, I probably
Wouldn't win.
wouldn't win.
So if you're feeling slightly terrified, but also inspired to maybe up the security of your own IT systems at your business, then check out westtek.co.uk. Make sure you also look at the link on this page, and we'll put some links towards some double verification tools that you can have a look at, as well as the show notes and a little bit more info. See you next time.